Before going to the next step, I will show all the hidden parts like magnets, coils, and other stuff except region and the band. Right click on the material and click on show all. In this way, we will see the complete geometry for next steps. The next setting that you see below the material will be boundary conditions. If you right click on boundary conditions, you will see normal flux or tangential flux. In a complete model like this, when we have a region around it and when we are not using periodic boundaries, we don't need to set any boundary conditions except in the situations that we have tangential or normal flux from outside of the geometry. So we will pass this option and directly go to the excitation. In the excitation, we need to set the coils and windings and number of turns. The first step is right click on the excitation, choose the model of the coils. Are they solid or they are created from stranded or wound coils? I will choose wound coils and the properties of this coil will appear. We have 3 tabs and we will set them all. The first tab, entities, will ask us to select the entities, entry port and exit port of the coils. As I drew the different coils of different phases with different colors, selecting them is a little easier. For a better view, I will hide the stator to be able to choose the windings with a better view. Here in the select entities, if your cursor stays in the blank box, you will see select bodies and components. I will select all the red bodies that are dedicated to the phase A. For each coil, I drew the coils with 2 symmetrical parts to be able to select the cross section of the coil. I selected all the coils bodies and now I have to select the entry port. By clicking on this box, you will only see the coils bodies that are selected in the previous part. Now I have to select the cross-section face of the entry port. Let's select this face with a little zoom in, and I have to go for other coils at the other side. Use the middlemost button or options here to change the view for easier selection of the faces. Click on the cross-section face and in the exit port, you don't need to select any exit port when you have close pass for each coil like this, because the exit port can set same as entry port. By clicking on this checkbox, you don't need to set any exit port anymore. The first tab is finished and we are going to set the general properties of this coil. The name of this coil, I will choose phase A, and here we need to set the wire size and number of turns. As we selected 4 different parts for this phase A, we need to set total turn number of all of these coils. For this geometry, the number of turns will be 800 for total coils. It means that each coil has 200 number of turns. As we selected the total number of turns, the fill factor will be invalidated with the default wire size we had when we come here to these general properties. So we need to change the wire size for example, to a logical value like 0.3 millimeter to have a logical fill factor, or we can directly change the filling factor of the slot and choose a logical value like 50% for filling factor. In this case, the size of wires will be calculated automatically. The next part is coil type, that you can choose the current driven coils or voltage driven coils. In this simulation, I just want to measure the back EMF of this geometry. So I will choose the current driven coil, and in the third tab, you have to select the properties of this current driven coil. If you come back in the general properties and choose the voltage driven coil, you need to select the initial ampere, the supply resistance, and inductance. And in the third tab, you will see the properties of voltage source. I will set the current driven coil again to have current source, and in the first simulation I want to measure the back EMF, so we can select the DC current source with 0 ampere. A current source with 0 ampere is equivalent to an open circuit simulation. In this case, we will see the induced voltage inside the coil to measure the back EMF. For the next simulations, we have other options too. Instead of DC current source, we can use sinusoidal current source. If you choose the sinusoidal current source, you have to set other parameters like offset current, maximum amplitude of the current, frequency of the sinusoidal waveform. I will set it as 50 Hz. We will use this sinusoidal source in the next tutorials. And after the frequency, you need to set the damping factor and time delay. We don't need any time delay in this sine wave, and as soon as you press the enter button, you will see the sine wave will be plotted even before the simulation. With this preview of the source, you can understand that you are setting the source correctly or you have any error. For example, if I choose a positive time delay like 0.005 equal to 5 milliseconds, you can see it will remain 0 until 5 milliseconds, and it will start the sine wave from that point. But that's not the phase shift that we want to apply. So I will make it minus 5 milliseconds to see the results. 5 millisecond phase shift is applied to sine wave, and you can ensure the correctness of this waveform in this preview window. For a better view, we have time duration, a starting time, end time, and time increment here in this window too. When you set all the parameters in these three tabs, you can click on OK and go for setting phase B and C. The same workflow will be applied for phase B and C, and I will jump to the next step.